Thank you so much. Now, if you do not have a copy of the handout, you can message me through the chat and I can send you a copy of that of this handout, because it does make a lot of sense to have the handout printed out while you're following along. That way you can take notes all over the handout. And later on, when you're looking back at your notes, they make a lot more sense versus just having it on a scratch pad or anything like that. So you can always just chat me and say you need a copy of it, and then I can just send you a copy of the handout. So I am Doug Valerie with Valerie Insurance Agency. This is the handout that we're going to be using. Okay, Lee, I'll get that right over to you. Give me just a moment. I'm going to send out, ooh, how did I do that last time? When I create the webinar, post only, post only, let's see here. All right, Lee, I'm going to see if I can get you a copy of the handout. Bear with me. When I create the webinar, I can do that, but it doesn't look like it's allowing me to do it. Eileen, can you send an email to Lee?
Yes, I can. I actually just sent one out to everybody. So if he checks
Awesome.
his
Thank
email,
you. Thank
it
you.
should be in his email.
As I'm playing with it, I realized, I think there might be a stipulation that when I create it, I have that ability.
We probably just need to make you the host and us co-hosts. So
yeah. Okay, so whoops, go back up. All right, so I am Doug Valerie with Valerie Insurance Agency. We put on these webinars and workshops all over the state of Florida. Just due to COVID, we've actually migrated to webinars starting last year. Otherwise, we've been doing these as workshops. And we have already started doing this for a lot of the different colleges. And for the AFC, we've done these webinars and workshops several times now. I think for the last 2 years or so, or 3 years, we've been doing this for the AFC. We are located in Indian Rocks Beach, which is in the Tampa Bay area. And our telephone number, if you have any questions, is 1-800-330-8445. If you like this type of webinar, you think it's helpful for folks, talk to your HR folks and ask them to reach out to me, and we can get you on our schedule to do a webinar straight with your college. Last week, I just had one for St. Pete College, and a couple weeks ago we did it for Central Florida. So we do these all over the place for all the different colleges too. Our web address is valerieagency.com, and we also have the transition into Medicare videos on our website. So if you found there's a little section of this webinar that you're kind of questioning, you can always go on to our website, click the video tab, and click on the different videos. The password for each one of those videos is Valerie, V-A-L-E-R-Y, all in lowercase. So you can rewatch that, and it might have some different examples that might help you understand the topics better. So everything we're doing is trying to make sure you have a good understanding of what your options are when you retire, when you start Medicare, how to do it. That way it makes a lot more sense for you. All right, so we're going to go to this first page. You see, we are all over the state, and we have a lot of colleges that we've been helping out now, trying to really get them to understand what their options are. On this next page, the 4 parts to Medicare. So on the top of the page, this is original Medicare. So anytime you hear somebody say original Medicare, or you see an ad on TV, or news personalities talking about original Medicare, this is what they're talking about: Part A, Part B. Part A is the hospital, Part B is the doctor. You are eligible for Medicare when you turn 65. So when you turn 65, you're eligible for both Part A and Part B. There's no premium for Part A. That's because Part A has been prepaid. All your life through payroll deductions, you've been paying for Part A. For Part B, there is a premium. Currently, the base premium for Part B is $148.50. That's the base premium. Depending upon your income, you could be paying more. And we'll talk about that in just a few moments. The bottom of the page, this is the add-ons that they did. They created these in the mid 2000s. Bottom right-hand corner is the Part D drug plans. Currently, there are 28 drug plans available. That means 28 different formularies. The drug plan premium costs right now range from about $8 on the low end to about $170 on the high end. Most people land on a plan about $30 or less. So if you're trying to budget things, how much are things going to cost me? So far, you've got Part A, nothing, because you've already prepaid for it. Part B, at least $148.50. And then the drug plan, if you said $30, that's a good round number to keep yourself safe, because more than likely you'd land on a plan less than that or right around 30. I rarely see somebody hit a plan that's way up in that 170 range. And then the bottom left-hand corner, this box, we call that your decision box. So if you have this page printed out, you want to write decision underneath this box, because within Medicare, this is where you're going to decide, what direction do I want to go? Do I want to go with a Part C Medicare Advantage plan, or do I want to go with a Medicare Supplement plan? They're vastly different. The Medicare Advantage plans replace A and B. The real big deal about that is original Medicare A and B, there's no network. You can see any doctor, any hospital across the United States. With Part C, Medicare Advantage plan, it replaces A and B. So now you're going to stick to the network of that plan and the service area of that plan. So the service area is a big deal for the Medicare Advantage plans. The supplement plans, those follow original Medicare. They were designed to be a secondary to original Medicare. So right away, the biggest difference is network. Advantage plans, Part C, are network-based plans. The supplements follow original Medicare, no network. So that's going to be your biggest difference right away. On the next page, we have Medicare 2021. Medicare starts on the first of the month. Now, normally, especially when you're aging into Medicare, Medicare is going to start on the first of the month. And it's normally going to start the month of your birth. So for example, my birthday is July 31st. If my birthday is July 31st, then that means I'm eligible for Medicare July 1st. It's going to start the first of the month of my birth, prior to my birthday. So if your birthday is from the 2nd to the 31st of any month, you're eligible for Medicare on the first of the month of your birth. Now, what if my birthday was July 1st? If my birthday was July 1st, then actually Medicare starts 1 month earlier, June 1st. So it's always going to be prior to my birthday when I'm aging into it, age 65. Okay, now, when would I sign up for Medicare? When would I delay Medicare? So let's go with a couple scenarios. There's really 4 scenarios out there. The first one is, let's say I am 64 turning 65 and I am retired. I'm already retired and I've already started Social Security. The key here is I already started Social Security. Since I did that, Medicare and the federal government is assuming I am retired, so therefore they will mail me out my A and B card automatically, and I'm going to receive it 3.5 months prior to my effective date. So going back to my example, if my birthday was July 31st, my effective date is July 1st, 3 months prior to that, I will receive my A and B card automatically, all because I started Social Security. Okay, now why is that important to know? Well, it's important to know because there's several things that are going to be happening to you. As you're approaching 65, you will have folks giving you a call. They're going to call you on the phone to try to sell you their products. Well, because of the do not call list, they're not supposed to do that. So they're already breaking Medicare rules, but they will be doing that. You're also going to have people knocking on your door saying, hey, I understand you're turning 65 soon. You need to make a decision. Otherwise, you may have to pay a penalty. And you don't want to do that. They're going to try to scare tact you into buying whatever they're selling. They're also breaking Medicare rules. They're not allowed to show up at your house unannounced without something called the scope of appointment confirmation form signed by you and signed by them. So for me to go to somebody's home, we have to have a scope of appointment form filled out prior to that meeting. So it's not just me showing up willy-nilly at their door. It's, I have to have an appointment with them, and that scope of appointment form has to be pre-filled out. If they're just showing up at your door, they're already breaking Medicare rules. But they are going to do it. I'm just telling you right now, they are going to do it. There's plenty of companies out there that do that as practice. All right, so the only legitimate way for them to reach out to you is via the mail. So that means you're going to get a lot of it. It starts off 6 to 9 months earlier than you turning 65, and you're going to get 1 or 2 pieces a month. Then it's 1 or 2 pieces a day. Then it's 5 to 10 pieces a day. Then it's 10 to 20 pieces a day. It will absolutely snowball. Okay. So that's why knowing you're going to get your card 3.5 months prior to your effective date in that like 2-week window, you really want to pay attention to your mail. That way, you don't lose it. You don't throw it away, or you don't stack it up someplace and just misplace it. Okay. Now, second scenario, I am still retired. I'm 64, turning 65. I'm still on the college plan, but because I am retired and I delayed Social Security this time, nothing's going to happen unless I sign up for it. And if I don't sign up for it, this is where I get into trouble with penalties. So what I'm going to do is, inside my 3-month window of turning 65, I'm going to reach out to Social Security, either online to socialsecurity.gov, or I'm going to give them a call and let them know that I'm turning 65 in the next 3 months, and that I want to make sure both A and B get started on time. If you call them, should be a 10-minute conversation. If you go online, shouldn't take you but 10 minutes to get signed up online. The nice version of going online and doing it is you're supposed to get an email confirmation that you did submit the request. So I like that idea too. So a lot of folks give us that feedback. Okay, so you're going to do that within the 3-month window. If you tried signing up 4 months out, 5 months out, if you can't see my hand, they can't either. They'll throw that application away because it's outside of their threshold. You got to do it inside that 3-month window. And that's why I call it a window. So as soon as that window opens, you can go ahead and apply for A and B. Okay, now, what if, another scenario, I am 64, turning 65, and I'm still working, all right, and I'm going to continue to work. All right, so if I'm thinking I'm going to continue to work, maybe for another year, maybe another 5, who knows, I'm having a good time. So if I'm going to continue to work, what do I need to do? Well, technically, you don't need to do anything, okay? There's no penalty for you, and that's because you're still working and you have credible coverage through your employer. So as long as you have the college's insurance, and each year during open enrollment, there's usually some verbiage in the packet that they give you that says your plan meets or exceeds Medicare. It's a qualified plan. So therefore, you don't have to get Medicare started. You can delay everything, delay both A and B. Now, what I do suggest to folks, though, if you're going to continue to work, if you do not have an HSA plan, an HSA account, that's a health savings account, then go ahead and turn on Part A. And I'm going to repeat that. If you don't have an HSA account, go ahead and turn on Part A. Again, there's no premium for Part A because you're still paying for it as payroll deductions. And what's good about it is they will mail you out your A card, it's your Part A only card, and you're going to get your number, your Medicare number. That makes life a lot easier and quicker later on down the road when you do go to retire. Now, if you do have an HSA account, you do not want to get Medicare started at all. And that's because Medicare will disqualify you from being able to participate in the HSA tax-free. So if you have Medicare started, do not start Medicare. The HSA is, the Medicare is not a high enough deductible and out of pocket, so it doesn't qualify. Okay, so again, if you have an HSA started, don't do Medicare. If you don't have an HSA, go ahead and start Medicare when you turn 65 and you are still working. Just start Part A. All right, now, fourth scenario. I am now 66, 67, 68 years old. Now I'm thinking, I'm tired. I just don't want to do this anymore. I want to go fishing on the lakefront there. I want to do anything but have to go to work every day. Okay, so now what do I do? First thing you're going to want to do as you're thinking about retiring is check with your benefits department and find out from them, from the point that you retire, what would be your pay through date for your health insurance. Another way of saying it is, when I retire, when would I start paying for it? If I retire in June, do I start paying for it in July? If I retire in December, do I start paying for it in January? If I retire in the beginning of the month, am I still paid up through the whole month? If I retire in the middle of the month, am I paid up through the rest of the month? You want to find out those types of things. As soon as they tell you when you would start paying for Part B, or for the group health insurance, that's when you want to get Part B started. So now you're going to look back on your calendar 3 months, and that's when you want to apply for Part B. And you're going to do that using 2 forms. The first form is the Part B application, and the second form is the request for employment information form. You're going to take those 2 forms. The Part B application, in the remarks section, you're just going to state when you want Part B to start. And for the request for employment information form, you're going to take that to your benefits department. They're going to help you fill that out. That's going to prove that you continue to work and you had credible coverage through your employer. Okay. And once you have those forms filled out, inside your 3-month window, you're then going to submit that to Social Security. Now, due to COVID, it used to be that you would hand it in or use the Dropbox or something. Lately, it seems like more folks are faxing that in to their local Social Security office, which has worked out really well. Also, now you can go online and upload those forms. I haven't heard any good feedback on that one yet, but the faxing has been working out really well. So you just call the local Social Security number, get their local fax number, and then fax those in. And then either way you do apply for Medicare, you want to call Social Security up about a week later and just verify they got your application and you're in the system to start when you requested it. If you already have Part A, we already know your Medicare number. That means you can get signed up for all the other products that are available to you. All right, and that's the other thing I'm going to mention to you too is, we are a broker, so we actually have, we sign up with all the different carriers and all the different products. And the main thing that we need to get somebody signed up is your Medicare number. So that's why that's a very important thing to have. We need to know how your name is going to be spelled on your Medicare card. So is it your first name, middle initial, last name, or did they actually spell out your middle initial, or did they drop it off altogether? That's important. Then your Medicare number, and then of course the effective date, Part A and Part B. What are the effective dates? When we have that information, then we can get you signed up with anything else, the Advantage plans, the supplements, the drug plans, whatever it is. We can help you with those things. Okay, so now that we have, was there a question?
Yes, Doug, Roberta has a question. She is asking that you repeat the HSA and Medicare Part A again.
Okay, sure. Okay, there's rules when it comes to HSAs that you cannot have other insurance besides your HSA plan with the HSA account. So if you have an HSA and you're becoming Medicare eligible and you're continuing to work, you do not want to get Medicare started. You wanted to delay Medicare A and B. Don't do a thing. All right, so you're not signing up for either A or B. If you don't have an HSA, that's where I say go ahead and turn on Part A. But if you, so anybody, and I know a lot of the colleges have HSA plans, so I get a lot of questions with that. So if you have an HSA, what happens is if you started Medicare, you are no longer able to participate in putting money into the HSA. If you put money into it, you now will be taxed on it, and there could be a penalty on it, and any interest that you gained, you would be taxed on. So there's lots of little penalties that are involved with that, so it's best not to have it. Another little key feature too is, let's say I am now 67, 68 years old. I'm now thinking about retiring. If I have the HSA plan, I actually want to stop participating in it, if I can get out of that plan 6 months prior to getting A and B turned on. And that's because, and I still don't understand why Medicare does it, but they will retroactively backdate your Part A effective date 6 months. So that means, let's say I was retiring in July, but in the last open enrollment I had with my college, which my plan started in January, I didn't change plans. I'm still in the HSA and I'm still putting money into it all the way up till July. Then I start Medicare. I say, oh, I want to get Part A and B started July 1st. And then what they do is they backdate Part A. Well, now I'm not in compliance. I've been putting money into my HSA, and now I can actually get penalized for doing that. So you actually want to get out of the HSA 6 months prior to getting Medicare started. That way, if they do backdate Part A, which they're only backdated up until the point that you turn 65, but they will, so if I'm 67, they're going to backdate it the full 6 months, and that could cause me some financial problems later. All right, great question. And I absolutely love questions. So please, please, please ask questions. All right, so once we have Medicare started, what are the options that we have? Well, we basically have 4 options in front of us. The first option is I'm going to start Medicare A and B, and I'm going to stay with my employer plan. I can do that, and I can actually stay on my college plan forever. They cannot kick me off the plan. I can stay on it forever. The only problem is I'm now going to pay the full premium for that plan, and it's going to act as a secondary to Medicare, because Medicare, when I retire, becomes primary insurance, and my employer plan becomes secondary. So that means I could be paying $500, $600, $700, $800 a month as a secondary to Medicare. And now with Medicare, this is your second option here, is just Medicare all by itself. So I retire, start Medicare, drop my employer plan, and I have Medicare by itself. The best thing about Medicare is there's no network, so that's one of the best things about it. Your third option is I would start Medicare, drop my employer plan, and then pick up a Medicare Advantage plan, Part C. And my fourth option would be to start Medicare, drop the employer plan, and then pick up a Medicare supplement, and then couple that with a Part D drug plan. All right, so that's your 4 basic options. To understand those options, the best thing to do is really understand option 2, Medicare by itself, because that's why we're kind of in this webinar in the first place, is trying to understand Medicare. How does it work? So Part A of Medicare, again, is the hospital portion. Part B is the doctor portion. The best thing about original Medicare is there's no network. That means no matter where you are around the country, you're able to go to the doctor, you're able to go to the hospital. There is no network. For the doctor side of things, the last stat I saw was about 97 to 96% of all doctors around the United States accept original Medicare. So pretty close to 97%. So it's really almost everybody accepts original Medicare. The downside to original Medicare would be these bullet points: the Part A deductible, the copay, the Part B deductible, copay, and excess charge. That's the downside, because every option you have has a pro and a con. Your option one, you're going to start Medicare and hang on to your employer plan. The biggest downside is how much you're going to pay as a retiree for your employer plan. You're easily going to be $500, $600, $700 a month, and it's going to work as a secondary to Medicare. Then your option two, Medicare by itself, you're going to have the different co-pays and deductibles. So for Part A, the deductible is $1,484. Notice it says each admission. That means for every new cause that I'm admitted to the hospital, I could pay that deductible if I only had A and B. So I could actually pay that deductible several times throughout the year. The copay is $371 per day. That one looks worse than it is. They don't charge that copay till after the 61st day of being into the hospital. So that means you're in the hospital for 2 whole months before they start charging it. So that's really not that bad. Part B, the deductible is $203, and we're back to calendar year. So that's not bad at all. $203 is nothing. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The doctor copay, 20%, that is whatever Medicare approves, you would pay 20% of it. So if I went to the doctor and they billed Medicare $500, Medicare says, no, that code's valued at $100, because just like any insurance carrier, Medicare is now the insurance carrier. They have negotiated rates, they have set rates. So if Medicare says it's valued at $100, Medicare is going to pay 80%, $80. I'm going to pay 20%, $20 if I only had A and B. And now let's scale that up. If I had open heart surgery, Medicare approved $100,000. Medicare is going to pay 80%, $80,000. I'm going to pay 20%, $20,000. When it comes to original Medicare, there is no out-of-pocket maximum. When it comes to original Medicare, there is no out-of-pocket maximum. So no matter how high it goes, whatever Medicare approves, I'm paying 20%. Then this third gap that Part B has is the excess charge. The excess charge is the extra 15% that a doctor can charge over and above the Medicare approved amount. And that's in relation if they have or if they accept assignment, Medicare assignment. If the doctor accepts assignment, they accept Medicare rates. If they don't accept assignment, they can charge that extra 15%. So that first example I gave you, the doctor charges $500, Medicare approves $100, but they don't take assignment. So now the bill is $115. So it's 15% above the $100. So that means Medicare is going to pay $80 of $100. I'm going to pay the 20%, $20, plus the 15%, $15. So that bill I paid $35. If you scale that all the way up to Medicare approved $100,000, I'm now going to pay $35,000. So 20% plus the 15%. Does that make sense? Do I have any questions about that? Okay, from there, so you see here at the bottom of the page, the premium for Part B. The base premium is $148.50. That's what most people pay. But if you did, and as you see this chart here, if you did make a lot of money, I'm always going to say congratulations for making a lot of money. They will charge you a little bit more for your Part B premium. Normally what happens is when you get your A and B card, about a week or two later, you're going to get a letter from Social Security letting you know what your premium is going to be for Part B. Okay, from there we're going to go to the next page. And from here we got the Medicare options. The top left-hand corner of this, the first box here, Medicare Parts A and B, that's your option 2. Option 2. So if you have this page printed out, you want to just write option 2 above Medicare Parts A and B. And you see all doctors and hospitals. Pretty much everybody takes it. Down the middle of the page, Medicare Advantage, HMO, PPO. That's your third option. So you want to write option 3 on top of that page there. You can also write Part C as in Charlie, because Medicare Advantage is Part C. Part C is Medicare Advantage. And you see that it is a limited network of doctors and hospitals. There'll be an HMO, a PPO, a PFFS, a POS. There's like 10 different acronyms. They all mean networks. So most of the time when I say that the Medicare Advantage plans are limited network plans, especially when I do a physical workshop, folks kind of look at me like, that doesn't really matter to me because I'm on a plan right now that's a network, right? The plan I'm currently on with the college is a PPO, or maybe it's an HMO. Well, no big deal. The difference, though, is since the ACA started, the Affordable Care Act, now employer group health plans are the largest network plans you could be in. They're the largest ones. Then when you go to the individual networks, those are much, much smaller. And then really Advantage plans are even smaller than that. So the Advantage plan networks, the way they work is they start off with a service area. So your service area could be a nationwide service area. The service area could be the state of Florida. The service area could be several counties around you, or the service area could be just your county all by itself. So that means if your service area is your county and you step out of your service area, you're paying out of network pricing or 100% of whatever services you're getting. So it can get kind of expensive. So if you go the route of the Medicare Advantage plans, and we do offer those too, but if you do go the route of the Advantage plans, your first question to us, to any agent or broker you talk to, is what's the service area? That's a very important question when it comes to the Medicare Advantage plans, because you don't want any surprises. All right, and then on the right-hand side, the Medicare supplement plans, that's your fourth option. With the Medicare supplement plans, they were designed to be a secondary to A and B. So that means, again, there's no doctor or hospital network. You can go to anybody you want to. The way the supplements work is when I go to the doctor or the hospital, I show them my Medicare card, I show them my supplement card, and then they send the bill to Medicare. They're the ones who get the claim. Then Medicare sends the claim over to the insurance carrier, telling them who to pay and how much to pay. That's why it doesn't matter who the insurance carrier is. It just matters which plan you signed up for. Because depending upon the Medicare supplement plan, it can pay all of the deductibles and copays for you, or some of the deductibles and copays for you, because that's how they work. And we're going to get into those in just a moment. All right, from there, we're going to go to the next page and go in a little bit more detail between your third and fourth option. So on the left-hand side, you have Part C Medicare Advantage. Again, that's option 3. You want to write option 3 on the top of the left-hand side of that page. And going down the line there, Part C Medicare Advantage, it's a limited choice of doctors and hospitals. You may need a referral depending upon the plan. Doctors can drop the plan without notice. Hospitals can drop the plan without notice. At any point in time in the year, they can drop off the plan. I've had enough folks mention this to me while I've done physical workshops, so we bring this up. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan and you are going to get a procedure done, take a few minutes. It doesn't take a long time. Just take a couple minutes, call the doctor's office, and just verify that everybody's still in the network. So whoever's going to be working with you, including the anesthesiologist, because they are on different networks a lot of the time. So just make sure whoever is scheduled to work with you with that procedure for that day or the next day, everybody is still in the network. That way, if you do get billed out of network 6 weeks later, you could say, look, I talked to so-and-so on this day, this time, and they confirm that everybody's still in the network. So you have something to work with. Otherwise, you're just going to pay out of network pricing because you didn't follow up on that. Those plans could have deductibles, copays, out-of-pockets. The out-of-pocket maximum for a Medicare Advantage plan will range from about $1,800 on the low end to about $10,000 on the high end. On average, I tend to see them around $4,700 and $6,700. Those tend to be the numbers that I see a lot, but the lowest ones are right around 1,800 and they max out right around 10,000. So again, it just depends on the plan. Here's a perk for the Advantage plans, the Part B premium. Some of those plans not only have a very low monthly premium, some of them don't have a monthly premium at all. They don't charge you anything for the plan. And some of them pay you to be on the plan. Wow. So can you imagine all these years you've been paying for your health insurance? You turn 65 and now they're going to pay you to be on the plan. They're going to give you money to help pay back your Part B premium. Or maybe they're going to give you a stipend at the pharmacy where now I can get over the counter stuff, $20 a month, $40 a month. They give you some kind of a monthly stipend to where I can get over the counter things at the pharmacy. Or maybe they give me dental and vision along with that plan. Now, Jerry, one of our agents, is the one that handles the Medicare Advantage plans. And she tells us all the time that finding a dentist that's in those plans, not easy. And also finding a vision doctor that takes those plans, not easy. So even though Joe Namath is telling you how great that plan is, that you get dental and vision, you really got to pay attention to the network to see if your dentist is in it. All right, otherwise you just have to change your dentist and then just try to find somebody that takes it. All right, but again, those plans can be very inexpensive, free, or they could pay you to be in the plan. But guess what happens to the service area when they're paying you? That service area is going to shrink. So that's why, again, when you're talking to an agent, to a broker about the Medicare Advantage plans, your first major question is, what's the service area? That is by far one of the most important questions when it comes to those plans. Second, I'd go to the out-of-pocket maximum. All right, with those plans, they take over Medicare. All the claims are paid by the insurance company, not Medicare. So how do these plans pay me to be on it? How are they actually making any money? Well, the way they make money is when they get you signed up, the federal government is now paying them approximately $10,000 per person. And then they wash their hands of you. So now you're owned by the insurance company because the federal government just paid them off. So you don't have Medicare A and B anymore. You've got a Medicare Advantage plan, and you're going to stick to the network of that plan. So that's how they're able to do it, and that's why they're the ones that pay all the claims. Medicare has nothing to do with you anymore. Those plans are annual plans. They start January 1st, they end December 31st. So even if I retired in September and I started my plan in October, that plan's only good from October, November, December. Then it's a brand new plan come January, if it's still available, if it's still offered. Limited opportunities to change plans. With the Advantage plans, you have an open enrollment time from October 15th through December 7th. That's where you can make changes, and it's effective January 1st. And then you have from January 1st through March 31st. After those two time periods, you have to stay in your plan. You can't make any changes. So if I was in one of those plans and I had a doctor's appointment for April 15th to do a procedure, and on the 14th, I called them up and said, hey, is everybody still in my network? And I find out, no, they're not. Then I have a couple of decisions to make. First decision would be I can move forward with the procedure and pay out a network pricing. Or two, I can sign up with a different doctor and facility to do that same procedure. Or three, I can just wait until the next open enrollment time and sign up for a new plan that my doctor and the facility both take. So that's a couple of decisions I would have to make. On the right-hand side, the Medigap, traditional Medicare supplement. That would be your fourth option, option 4. So with those plans, again, all doctors, all hospitals that accept original Medicare, it follows Medicare. It's designed to be a secondary. Their job is to pay the different deductibles, copays, and out-of-pocket costs for Medicare. It just depends on the plan that you selected. Medicare pays first, the supplement pays second. The supplements are lifetime plans. When you sign up for Medicare supplement, you keep it for life. It's a guaranteed renewable every January 1st. So you don't have to make any changes to it. Once you've signed up for it, you can leave it alone and not think about it again. And if you sign up for a plan, and let's say that plan is no longer available anymore because they changed things up, you're still grandfathered in. They cannot kick you off that plan for any reason besides failure to pay the premium. That's the only way. and then change plans at any time. With the Medicare supplement, there's no open enrollment time. There's no open enrollment time. That means any month throughout the year, I can change plans. So if I started my plan in July, and then August, I was looking around, I saw another carrier offering the same plan for $20 cheaper. I can fill out that application, submit it. If it gets approved, the very next month, I can get that started. And then after I got that one started, if I found another carrier with the same exact plan for another $20 cheaper, I can fill out that application, submit it. If it gets approved, very next month, it can get started. So any month throughout the year, I can fill out the application, and if it gets approved, the very next month, it can get started. When it comes to the supplements, when you turn 65 or start Part B of Medicare, you are guaranteed issue for 6 months. So that means during that 6-month period of time, any application you fill out, you skip over the health questions, which is one of the good things about if you delay Part B while you're working, start it when you go to retire, you're guaranteed issue. So if you're retiring because you now have a big problem, you've been diagnosed with something, you want the ability to get into the best plan possible with no health questions. Okay? So a quick review, Advantage plans are network-based plans. The supplements are not. Advantage plans have an out-of-pocket maximum going up to $10,000. The supplement, it just depends on the plan that you pick on what the out-of-pocket would be. Advantage plans take over Medicare. The supplements follow. Advantage plans are annual plans. The supplement plans are lifetime plans. They're guaranteed renewable every January. And then the Advantage plans have limited opportunities to change plans. You do that during your open enrollment times and enrollment times, where supplements, any month throughout the year, you can make changes. All right, on the next page, this is the model Medicare chart that was designed by the federal government. And that's because the Medicare supplements, once you pick a plan, it's exactly the same plan with every single one of the insurance companies. So if you had 20 different insurance companies offering, look at Plan F, for example, Plan F as in Frank. If you had 20 companies offering that Plan F, it's exactly the same Plan F with every single one of those companies. The only difference will be the premium that you pay. That's going to be all over the board depending upon where you live in the state of Florida. And I'm going to talk about premiums in just a moment. So first, how do we read this chart? So going down the middle here, Plan F as in Frank, basic is talking about Part A coinsurance. So that's a big gap right there. Then your Part B coinsurance, that's another one. 2 more boxes down, your Part A deductible, the Part B deductible, and then another box down, the Part B excess charge. So that's all 5 gaps. Now I'm going to flip up here. All right, you see your Part A deductible, the Part A copay, the Part B deductible, the Part B copay, and the Part B excess charge. Those are the 5 gaps that Medicare has. So going down this Plan F, it covers all 5 of those gaps at 100%. So that means somebody with the Plan F, they go in for a knee replacement. They can, one, seek out the best doctor that covers knee replacements. That's what they do. They can do a knee replacement upside down and blindfolded. They're so good at it. That's the one you want to see. You see them, you get your knee replaced. You don't get a bill. You do all of your physical therapy afterwards. That's covered by Medicare. It means you don't get a bill. Anybody with the Plan F, anything that's Medicare approved, it's paid 100%. They don't get bills. They go in and out of the doctor's office all the time, not a bill at all. And again, that's because that plan pays everything. Now, by now, some of you may have heard the Plan F has gone away. It has, sort of. So the ruling is, if you turn 65 or eligible for Medicare prior to January of 2020, you are still eligible for Plan F. If you turn 65 after January of 2020, you are no longer eligible for Plan F. So for those young folks out there, the best plan you can get into now would be Plan G as in George. And if you notice, Plan G as in George looks just like Plan F for the first, second, and third box. That fourth box there is empty. So it does not cover the Part B deductible. Currently, the Part B deductible is $203, so it's not that big a deal. All right, so if that box is empty, that means that plan does not cover that particular item. Go all the way over to Plan N as in Nancy, basic, 100% coinsurance, except for a $20 copay at the doctor's office, $50 copay at the ER. And then a couple boxes down, the Part B deductible is not covered. The Part B excess charge is not covered. So anybody with one of these plans that don't have that excess charge covered, they would want to ask any doctor they saw, do you take assignment? That makes a lot of sense to ask that question. Do you take assignment? Because an extra 15% could be costly to you. So the only plan that now covers that for anybody turning 65 now is Plan G as in George. All right. So from there, I'm going to go to the next page and I'm going to look at some zip code. All right, so we're going to use zip code near Central Florida, trying to get a roundabout number here. So zip code of 344 blah blah. You got age 65, Plan F, premiums ranging from roughly $200 up to about $325. Now we stopped it at $325 because we have a couple carriers that we can pay through the Florida retirement system. So if your college is part of the Florida retirement system and you want to be able to pay your premium through the Florida retirement system. So we have a couple carriers that we currently use. So that's why we stopped it there. But I can easily find the Plan F all the way up to $400. I mean, it's super duper expensive. It's with some carriers, and that's just because they're not competitive. So depending upon where you live in the state of Florida, if you are in South Florida, for example, let's say you are Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, that area down there, you're going to be about starting off in the 250 to 275 range. Now, if you are Central Florida, $200 range for the Plan F, and if you go up into the Panhandle from Tallahassee over, you're right there in that $200 range also. So basically, the way all the insurance companies, the way they set up their premium, they usually will have at least 3 zones or areas for their premiums. They have a low cost area, a medium cost area, and then a high cost area. The low and medium area is most of the state. So the Panhandle, North Florida, Central Florida, and West Coast of Florida would be in that low and middle area. Your Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach is going to be the high area, okay? Also, they go by your gender, if you're a male or female. Females, you're the $200. So for this example here, females would be $200 would be the low price. Males would be somewhere closer to $210. For the Plan G, females would be $170. Males around $177, somewhere in there, $178 would be that low premium. So they go by your zip code, they go by your age, they go by your gender. And then you see down here at the bottom, non-smoker rates. They also go by if you're a tobacco user. So if you're a tobacco user, that premium is normally another $10 to $15 more. All right, so now what if most of the people that we talk to today, they're turning 65. So we're going to look at the Plan G for the moment. So at age 65, Plan G, let's say you're a female, 170 would be the lowest premium I'm going to find. Go all the way up past $250. Same plan. So you can pay $250, but you're wasting money if you can get the same plan for 170. And that's what we try to do as a broker. We sign up with a lot of different carriers, so we're always trying to seek out the best premium for you. And again, right now we have 3 companies that we can pay through the Florida retirement system. Now, a lot of times folks will look at this page and say, okay, so I start off at age 65, Plan G, 170. I turn 66 and I have my birthday and boom, I have a rate increase, 177. That's not the way it works. in the state of Florida, we are a save age state, otherwise known as an entry age state. What that means is when somebody starts the supplement, they stay the age that they started. They always pay the premium of that age. So does that mean they never have a rate increase? No. What it means is whatever that age is paying, that's what you're paying for as long as you keep that plan with that carrier. So for example, I have a lady call me up, say, Doug, I'm age 75. I'm looking for the plan G. What's your best premium you can find me? The best premium I can find her is $238 for this zip code. But if that same lady had already had that plan G since age 65, she'd be paying $170 if she was with that same carrier, with that plan. So she would have saved her age. So according to the insurance company in that plan, she's age 65. She's not 75. But if she's shopping around now at age 75, the new plan, when you fill out the application, they're going to be looking at your current age. Okay? So I hope that's clear. And again, love questions. Love questions. Okay, so from there, I'm going to go to the next page. Before I do, going back to your 4 options, your first option is start Medicare and hang on to your employer plan. So if you did that, again, your employer plan would be secondary to Medicare, and you're paying at least $500, $600, $700 a month as a secondary, and you're still going to have your deductible, you're still going to have your out-of-pocket maximum, and you're still going to have your network that you're dealing with. If you went with the option 4 and the supplement, much, much cheaper. I mean, you're going to be probably below $200 for your supplement, and the only out-of-pocket you're going to have is your $203 deductible for the doctor, which is really not bad at all. On the next page, just kind of do a quick review of the supplement. Was there a question?
Yes, there's one question from Lee Wood, and he said that my wife is on Medicare with Humana Advantage.
Okay.
She is 59 years old on disability. What would her cost be for the supplement plan, and could she choose that versus the Advantage plan?
Okay, so that's where it gets a little bit scarier. The underage disability rate for an individual plan would be somewhere in the $600 to $700 or more range. When it comes to what we do with the individual colleges, we have a group Medicare supplement where the underage disability rate is somewhere in the $340 range. So it's about half the cost of the individual policies, but all the individual carriers, most all of them offer the underage disability rate. But if they are on a Medicare Advantage plan now, and they already went into a Medicare, or they've been on Medicare A and B, they are outside of that 6-month window of being guaranteed issue. They would have to pass the health questions in order to get into the supplements, unless they have the ability to get into a guaranteed issue policy. Now, when your spouse turns 65, that's a new window, 6-month window, to be able to sign up for a Medicare supplement, no health questions, at the 65 rate. Did that answer their question?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. And you can always give us a call and we can quote you. I mean, we quote all over the state. We help everybody all over the state of Florida. So we can quote you on what things would cost. But when it comes to that, because the underage disability rates are so exorbitant, that's where the group supplement that we have. So that means the college that you're with would have to sign a group application to be able to have that offered to you. All right, so the HIS, being part of the Florida retirement system, this is a really nice part for the folks that are part of the Florida retirement system. I'm not sure if every college is, so I'm just going to do a quick review of this. If you are part of the Florida retirement system, you get a credit of $5 for every year of credible service. So if you work 30 years within the Florida retirement system, that's 5 times 30, $150 they're going to add to your pension. So for example, let's say your pension was $1,000, they would add 150 on top of that. So now your pension is 1150. Okay. So there's a right way and a wrong way to use that money. If you have the Florida retirement system, direct deposit that entire 1150 into your checking account, you're going to get taxed on the entire amount, including that subsidy money. The subsidy money was never meant to be taxed, but when you get constructive receipt of it, they're going to tax you. So you're not a very happy camper. And Uncle Sam is going, woohoo, I got free tax money. So the best way to use that money is have the Florida retirement system pay the insurance carrier directly. And the way they do that is they would pay the entire premium. And by have them paying the entire premium, you are a happy camper, and Uncle Sam is kicking in the dirt because they don't get that extra money to spend. So how does that actually work? All right, so let's say my premium was $200 and my subsidy was $150. The Florida retirement system would send the money directly to the insurance carrier, the full $200 premium. But the first 150 of that, the subsidy portion, that's what stays tax-free. Another point I'm going to make is that $5, that credit is prior to drop. Prior to drop. So that means if I work 30 years, but the last 5 was in drop, then it's going to be 25 times 5. Okay. So it's that number that they're looking at is prior to drop. Okay. From here now, I'm going to move into the drug plans and explain those. So I'm going to leave part A and B. I'm going to leave the Advantage plans and the supplement plans. Before I go to the drug stuff, do I have any questions? All right, we're going to go to the drug plans. So currently there's 10 different companies offering 28 different drug plans. That means there's 28 different formularies. What's a formulary? A formulary is the list of prescriptions that are covered under that particular plan. So that means you could have one drug that's on one formulary and not on another formulary. You could have one drug that's on one formulary, one plan, listed as a tier 1 preferred generic. You could have a same drug, different plan, listed as a tier 2 non-preferred generic. You could have the same drug, let me get my hand going here. You could have the same drug on a different plan, listed as a tier 3 preferred brand. And then you could have the same drug on a different plan, listed as a tier 4 non-preferred brand. So it almost looks like there's no rhyme or reason on how they actually set up those formularies. But there is. What they're doing is just like a grocery store would. They create loss leaders. So imagine I go to the grocery store because I saw the ad that said eggs were 30 cents. So that's why I go to that store. They're driving business into that store because eggs were 30 cents. But when I go into that grocery store and I get my eggs for 30 cents, am I leaving with just eggs? No, I have never left with just the eggs. I've got 2 grocery carts, the ones with wheels, not carrying, but wheels. I'm pushing out with all sorts of goodies because there's all these other things that I saw that I was never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Just golden rule, never go when you're hungry. Eat first. But that's what they got me in the store with that loss leader. These drug companies are doing the same thing. They're going to take a high tier drug and drop that down in tier. And then they might take some lower tier drugs and move them up a little bit to try to make up some of the difference. But they're doing that to drive business into their plan. So one of the things that we do for all of our clients when they give us a call, we get a list of their prescriptions, the dosages, how often they take it per day, which pharmacy do they like to go to. by getting that information, we can figure out which one of those 28 plans works best for you. Because again, the cheapest plan's right around $8 a month. The most expensive plan is right around $170 a month. Most people land in a plan that's $30 or less, okay? And that's how we do that. So if you have a husband and wife, he could be on one plan, she could be on another plan because they take different prescriptions. Or maybe she likes to go to CVS or Walmart or Walgreens because they have drive-throughs. He likes to go to Walmart because he likes to wander around and look at the electronics section. Okay, so now how do these plans work? There's basically 4 phases to the drug plans. You got the deductible phase, the copay phase, the coverage gap phase, and the catastrophic phase. So not all plans have the deductible, but a lot of them do. The max deductible any plan can have is $445. Once you've met that deductible, whatever that is for the plan, you then would move into the copay phase. Every plan gives you the drug account, which is $4,130. So you would pay your normal copay until that money has dropped down to zero. Once that drug account money is down to zero, you then would go into the coverage gap or the donut hole. You're now going to pay 25% for whatever the drug cost is. So it's the negotiated rate of the drug. You pay 25% of that to your troop cost maxed out at $6,550. If that happened, you then go to the catastrophic phase where you pay about 5% of the drug cost till the end of the year. Then you're done. And then you start all over again the following January 1st. All right. That's pretty clear. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Yeah. All right. So just in case you didn't catch that all the way, I got an example for you. So let's pretend I took 5 prescriptions and they were all brand name drugs. And so they're like the tier 3 or tier 4 type drug. Let's say the cost, the negotiated rate for each one of these was $100. Okay. So the first time I picked up all my prescriptions, I paid, and let's say my deductible is $445. So I paid $100 for the first one, $100 for the second, $100 for the third, and $100 for the fourth one. I'm up to $400. This fifth one, I'm now going to pay $45. I maxed out the deductible phase, and then plus I pay whatever the normal copay is. So let's say that's $10. So for that fifth one, I paid $55. Now the second time I go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions, now I'm in this copay phase. So what they're going to do is they're going to take the full negotiated rate of the drug and deduct it from that $4,130. So they're going to deduct $100, $100, $100, $100, $100. So they deduct $500 from that $4,130, and I'm going to pay my copay. It's $10, let's say, for each one of these. So I paid $50. They deducted $500 from that drug account. And I keep paying my normal copay until that drug account depletes to zero. And if and when that happens, I would then go to the donut hole. Now I'm paying 25%. So now I'm paying $25, 25, 25, 25, 25 for each one of those. And then again, they use that formula of how much I paid, how much they paid, and how much the discount they gave until the troop cost hits $65.50. Now I said troop several times, and we have that spelled out here, troop. Troop is TROOP, your true out-of-pocket cost for your Part D drug plan. Now, personally, I am not a fan of that term. I think that term's horrible because when somebody says, what is my true out-of-pocket cost, I think, what's coming out of my wallet? And I'm thinking, am I spending $6,500? No, I'm not. The true out-of-pocket cost to Medicare is a formula that consists of the deductible phase, the copay phase, and how much money I'm paying, plus what discounts I'm getting from the plan, plus discounts we got from the pharmacy. And then in the donut hole section, how much I'm putting into versus what they're putting into, plus discounts you get from the drug company. it's an extremely bad formula that I believe is horrible. But to try to bottom line it for you to go through the copay phase, out of your wallet, you'd spend about $900 to get through that phase. And for the coverage gap phase, the donut hole, again, you'd have to spend about $900, give or take a little bit, to get through that phase until you get to the catastrophic phase. But I'll say most people today don't go into the donut hole. Most people don't make it there. That's because there are a ton of generics out there, a ton. If your doctor is going to prescribe you a new medicine, a new prescription, your first question should always be, is this a generic? If it's not, can I try a generic first? Is there a generic equivalent that I can try? Because it could bring your copay from way up here down to way down here. A lot of these plans, the copay for a tier 1 drug is zero. Zero is way better than $100, $200, $300 or more. Zeros can be very good for copays, so good for zeros. Also, there are $4 lists out there these days. Walmart has a $4 list. Target's got a $4 list. Winn-Dixie's got a $4 list. Publix, I think, is like a $7.50 list, something like that. But they're all generic lists. They're all different too. They're not the same lists. So you can take a look at the different ones to see if any of your drugs are on there. And if your copay is higher than what you can get it for that cost, pay cash, get it for cheaper. You don't have to use your drug plan. You don't have to. Also, there's some free drugs out there. If you get metformin, if you take metformin or lisinopril, those are free at both Publix and Winn-Dixie. There's also antibiotics that are free too. Also, if you ever used the website GoodRx, I have no clue how they make their money, but for some reason the coupons work. So if you call your local pharmacy, ask them, do you accept the GoodRx coupon? If they do, you just go onto the GoodRx website, plug in your drug, the dosage, how often you need it, and then pick whichever pharmacy you want to do, clicking on the coupon, print the coupon, bring it down there, and get it for cheaper than what your plan offers. I've got quite a bit of clients that went to the cheapest drug plan, that $8 drug plan, because they're actually getting their drugs through GoodRx. They're just picking up the cheapest drug plan in case they get another drug that's more expensive, that GoodRx doesn't help for them. So there's lots of little things that we can do. Also, a lot of folks get drugs from Canada. Sometimes you get better pricing from Canada. You're paying cash for that, but sometimes it's cheaper to pay cash than it is to go through your drug plan. So there are a lot of things that people do these days that keep them well away from the donut hole, which really saves them a lot of money. All right, and again, every year you have the annual enrollment time for the drug plan, so they are yearly. So you don't have to worry about, I'm going to be in this plan for life. The drug plans are yearly, which is actually a good thing because your drugs will change from year to year. Some years you're not going to take any, some years you may take 2 or 3 or more, and then they may go to generic, which means a different plan might be better for you because they handle the generic better than the brand. So that's why it's really good that they do change each year. And so all of our clients call us every year during the open enrollment time, and we review their drug list so they get to know us pretty well. So we do that for all of our clients. And then every year we just tell them you're better off staying put, or hey, you'd save X amount of dollars by moving from one plan to another. And then it's simply a click a link, fill out the application, and submit it. With the drug plans, it does not matter your zip code, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your gender or anything like that. It just matters that you live in the state of Florida. That's it. It's one set premium in the state of Florida for that particular plan. And then there's these surcharges. Only, again, if you made a lot of money, I say congratulations, but most people don't pay these surcharges, so you don't have to worry about that. And then the last page here, we're going to go to a quick review. Part A, again, there's no premium for Part A because you've been prepaying for it all these years through payroll deductions. If you had never paid for Part A, then the premium for that would be right around $450 or so per month. It'd be kind of expensive. So it was a good idea that they did take that from you prior through your payroll deductions. Part B, the base premium, $148.50. Next to that number, you want to write SS for Social Security, because you will be paying Social Security for your Part B premium. If you have Social Security started, you're going to just deduct that straight from your Social Security check. They're going to do that automatically. If you have delayed Social Security, so let's say I started Medicare at age 65, but I'm not going to start Social Security till age 70 because I want the full benefit, then they will send me a quarterly bill and I'll be writing Social Security check every quarter. And if I don't want to do that, I can always do what's called Medicare Easy Pay. That's where I can set up an EFT, electronic funds transfer, through the bank, and they can draft it monthly from my bank because it's just easier for me to deal with my budget. All right, then for the Medicare supplement, if you go that route, next to that number, whatever plan you do, whatever number that would be, next to the 170, just write FRS, just to remind yourself that you do want to pay through the Florida retirement system, because that will help you with your tax consequence for that subsidy money. And then for the drug plans, again, we say an average of 30. It just makes it easier for folks to keep that in their budget. If you say 30, you're pretty safe. Next to that number, you can write SS again. A lot of folks will pay directly from their Social Security check if they have that started. Otherwise, you could pay as an EFT through the bank or do a monthly bill coupon book. Some carriers allow you to pay as a credit card payment, so that's awfully nice too. For the ones that have a premium of $8, I'd say most of the time they pay as a monthly bill, and they write one check for the remainder of the year. And that way they don't have to think about it again. So Valerie Insurance Agency, we can help you with your timelines and everything to make sure you do everything in time. We can help you with the enrollment forms to make sure you have them to get signed up for Medicare. When you turn 65 or start Part B, you are guaranteed issue for all carriers. The other thing is, if you like this webinar, check with your college to make sure that we're doing these webinars for them too. If not, ask them to reach out to us and we can schedule a webinar for your college. We're doing this for a lot of the colleges now, but if we're not doing it for your college, we can always schedule it, because as you see, these webinars are easy to set up. So we can do this for anybody. Thank you.
Okay, and Roberta did, she had to leave, and she just made a comment that this information is extremely helpful for us to share with employees who are getting close to age 65, and I know who we can refer them to now. And I have to leave the webinar, but thank you so much for offering this. So,
Thank you.
And we appreciate those who have joined us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do you all have any other questions? You can unmute yourselves now if you do.
Thank you, Doug. I'm Randy Burnett here from Tallahassee Community College. And I think she gave you my name. I'll be giving you a call. Working with the retiree committee from AFC. So some of the conferences that we'll be having throughout the rest of the year, we're trying to make sure that we have a segment in there for the retirees.
Yes,
so,
and we did this last year for the year-end conference.
Right, the leadership one, I think. Or
yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that one as well.
Oh, great.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's very nice to meet you.
Right, I'll be giving you a call. Actually, I might be driving down to, is it St. Pete?
Yeah, we're in Indian Rocks Beach, just south of Clearwater Beach. We're like 4 beaches south of Clearwater Beach.
Okay. Well, I just need to come down and meet up with you.
All right, that'd be wonderful.
I don't mind driving the state.
I haven't done that in so long. So the last time I got in my car, I had to sit there and stare at it for a minute and go, what do I do?
Right. Well, this weekend I had to go to Montgomery and then drive over to Gulfport and then back here. So I've been around the loop.
Oh, wow.
Okay, are there any more questions? Okay. Well, Doug, we thank you for coming on and helping our retirees and HR people.
Thank you so much. If anybody has any follow-up questions, they can always give us a call. Anybody here at our office can help them, not just me. If they talk with Jerry or Colette, they are both absolutely fantastic. We handhold people through the whole process to try to make it as easy for them as possible.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay.
All right, well, you all have a wonderful, wonderful day today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.